The inevitable has finally happened, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers take their first loss of the season after starting 15-0, the greatest start in Cleveland Cavaliers franchise history. Only the fourth team in NBA history to have done so. They go down to the Boston Celtics 120-117. This was the number one offense in the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the number two offense in the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we know the firepower that the Celtics offense is in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two-headed monster. And then you have Derek White being so much more aggressive and better offensively this season than he's ever been in his career. Drew Holiday can give you some points as well. Al Horford has been steady for them. He had 20 in this game. And then, as we know, Peyton Pritchard has been very, very solid for them. And you also get an occasional Sam Hauser three here and there. But the Cavs are 15-1 now after taking this loss. And let's just be real, that's not the end of their season. Obviously, they have so much more basketball to play. This is not at all the end of anybody's season. And it was better to lose it earlier than later on. As we know, the Golden State Warriors have the greatest start to an NBA season in NBA history, 24-0 in 2016 when they went 73-9 and then lost 3-1 to my Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James. But in this one, for an undefeated team, the way that they came out, and granted, this is their first game against the Boston Celtics this year, but the way that they came out, especially Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, going in combined 2 of 12 in the opening quarter of the game. At one point, they were down 12-4 through just 4 minutes, and eventually they went down by double digits, 10-12 points. But the bench was able to rally and revive the team and get some stops while simultaneously putting the ball into the basket without Donovan Mitchell in the game for maybe 4 or 5 minutes of that. Evan Mobley looked great in that first quarter with 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Jared Allen was snagging boards over all of the smaller Celtic players. He had 6 rebounds in that first quarter. It was just a flat start for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they had to play catch up for majority of this game, especially considering how bad, absolutely terrible Darius Garland was in that first half. 1 for 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from deep, a total of 9% shooting for the first half. He missed 9 shots in a row, just 4 points and 3 assists in 14.5 minutes that he did play. He finished the game in abysmal 3 of 21. 14% from the field, 0 of 6 from deep. The roughest game he'll probably have in his entire career. Now, granted, he's matched up against Derek White and Drew Holiday, probably the best defensive backcourt in basketball outside of OKC. When you throw in Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso, that's a deadly backcourt too. But, I gotta show my Thunder some love. But this is probably the roughest game he'll ever have in his career. Just terrible. Couldn't hit anything. And I want to say a lot of that was due to the amount of shots that he did get up in the first quarter. Just repetitive, trying to get himself going, but just not really smart. Not smart, but they didn't really need those shots that he was taking in the first quarter. Those runners, trying to get to the rim, get himself going. Like I said, 1 of 8 in the first quarter. It just was not the greatest showing for Darius Garland. And like I said, going against that backcourt is not going to be an easy night. Donovan Mitchell struggled himself in the first half as well. But considering they only lost by 3 and Darius Garland shot that bad, the Boston Celtics turned the ball over 13 times. The Cavs turned the ball over 7. They lost by 3 and Darius Garland shot that bad. Donovan Mitchell missed maybe, I think, 2 free throws. No, he missed that. Did he miss 2? I know for a fact he missed 1 free throw in the clutch that could have kind of altered the game a little bit. But yeah, man, it's just that Darius Garland, the way that he came out, just couldn't hit anything. It really changed this game for the Cavs. Like I said, they only lost by 3, so they were in it. There was a chance for them. Donovan Mitchell, 13 points, 5 of 14 from the field in the first half. Not very consistent, but, kind of really the only offensive lifeline for the Cavs in the first half outside of the bench, giving them 19. Then late in that third quarter, he got to cooking with some clean footwork against Keita. Neemias Queta in the open space, got some tough buckets and got him into his groove. He scored 13 straight late in that game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just getting to the rim, finishing through contact, hit that big three over Jason Tatum in transition to cut the game to maybe four or three, and trying to keep the streak alive, doing whatever he can, backpacking his team, but his 35 points just weren't enough to fight off the defending champs. And like I said, early in this game, they did go down by double digits and were able to, in that third quarter where it looked like all was going to be lost, put together a nasty 22-5 run to cut the 21-point lead to 4 with some great defense and solid offense, storming back into the game. And thank God Evan Mobley showed up tonight to play, because his 14 points in the quarter was huge. 14 points of their 40 came from Evan Mobley. Just in that quarter alone. In the fourth quarter, I think he only got one more basket, maybe that. But the 40 points was huge for them, and I would be remiss if I did not credit the bench play of Ty Jerome, Georges Niang, and Craig Porter Jr. A combined 36 points off of the bench, man. Just stepping up and playing a role. Everybody was in double digits, scored at least 10 points, got at least 3 assists and a rebound. Everybody hit at least 4 shots. It was a great game, especially for Craig Porter Jr., a guy that got to play just because Karis LeVert is out, as well as Isaac Okoro. He came in and hit 3 big threes for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He led the bench in scoring for the game with 15. So just a great night for everybody but Darius Garland, I guess, on the Cavs. Jared Allen gave you a nice double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. But yeah, the Celtics were just too much, especially when you consider the fact that they get so many three-point shots up, man. 15 of their first 18 points, in fact, were from 3. Outside of Jason Tatum's and 1 in the early stages of the first quarter, all of their points came from 3 for their first 18. They do not hesitate to take that first shot. If it touches their hands and they have a little bit of space, they will shoot the ball. No shot is not open to them in their mind. So nobody can match that rate that they get the shots up, man. I've never seen a team that has so many players that can just hit the 3 ball so efficiently in the game. And it's not every game, but anybody is a threat to give you at least 3 threes a night, 3 to 4 a night, based off of sheer volume alone. And we saw that in this game. 6 players hit at least 3 threes in this game. It's crazy. When you look at the first half volume, they hit 14 of their 22. The Cavs shot, they made as many as the Cavs shot. The Cavs went 4-14 in the first half. The Boston Celtics made 14 of their 22. So that just goes to show alone the volume that they get shots up. No other team can match, especially when you consider how great that they are shooting them. I don't know how Al Horford is a great 3-point shooter at this point in his career when he was not known for that pretty much his entire career. Not that great. Drew Holiday, Derek White, like, these aren't guys that you expect to be great 3-point shooters, but they bought into the system that Mazzulla is instilling over there, and they are killing it, bro. They're killing it, bro. 6 players in the first half hit 2 and then ended up for the game. 6 players ended up with 3. 39 points in the second quarter to go up 17 and a half, or by the end of the half, which was Cleveland's largest deficit of the season, previously being 7 points. So they were really getting it up and lighting it up. Jason Tatum was killing from deep, 4-4 in the first half, 17 points, 8 rebounds, which was leading the game alongside of Jared Allen, 4 assists, 2 steals, 6 of 10 from the field. And in that third quarter, he got some nice little buckets to keep the Celtics in front, especially when the Cavs were on that run. Jason Tatum was able to piece together a few baskets, especially at the end of the quarter where he made Georges Niang touch earth, and talking his shit after. I'm loving this new Jason Tatum now. Not new, because he's always kind of been this way, but just more comfortable to talk his shit because of the championship and things of that nature. He's like that. He's established now, so he has the right to do so. Yeah, I love what I'm seeing for Jason Tatum. He ended up with 28 points and 11 rebounds going into the fourth to end the game. He had 33, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, shooting 50% on 22 shots, 6 made threes on 10 attempts. Great game for Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown started the game off shaky. Got a couple of tough middies to fall, and a couple of threes to end up with 10 at the half. He also had 5 assists. but ultimately a quiet game for him, just 17 when it was all said and done. 8 assists, 3 rebounds, and a steal on 7 of 17 shooting, 2 of 7 from deep. But thank God for the Boston Celtics. Al Horford showed up and stepped up because he ended the game, like I said, with 20 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, and 3 blocks. He was great on both ends of the floor for them, especially defensively. The 3 blocks was huge. Down the stretch in the fourth quarter, on Darius Garland. Darius Garland had a mismatch, tried to take Al Horford off of the, that was in the first half too. He got a couple of blocks on Darius Garland that were really huge, that saved some baskets. And like I said, saved some baskets and probably saved the game. 4 or 5 from deep for Al Horford, which is probably the biggest standout. Like I said, you didn't expect Al Horford, or you don't expect him to be such a great three-point shooter that he is, but he's doing it, man, and he's getting it done. He was a huge difference maker in this game where Jaylen Brown just struggled. And then, like I mentioned earlier, Peyton Pritchard, one of the best scorers off the bench in the league. Please don't mind me. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed after I get done with this. One of the best scorers in the league off the bench. He's actually leading the league points per game with 15.5, as well as total bench points with 217 through just 14 games. That was before this game tonight. He gave the Celtics a user spark off the bench with 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep in the first half. Ended the game with just 13 points, so couldn't really keep up that scoring pace, but didn't really need to. A win is a win. So like I said, Cleveland takes their first loss of the year. It was inevitable. It was going to happen at some point. You would just rather be against a team like the Boston Celtics, so you could be like, we lost against the defending champs, or we lost against a team that was worthy of beating us. And it wasn't even a game that they really should have lost. Let's just be real. The Cavs probably should have won this game. They've had games where they put up 144 points. They've had games where they put up 136 points. The Cavs are a team, like, number one offense for a reason. They can put up points. The fact that Darius Garland struggled so bad in this game is the reason they lost. Call me crazy.